All right, I'm gonna get started. So, as everyone joins in, I just wanted to say hi and give you guys a little run through of what we'll be going through today and all the amazing guests that you're going to be meeting very, very soon. So, as you guys probably already know, this is the Back to School special live stream where we'll be talking to 6 amazing guests who all have something unique to share. The first one being Dr. Duff, a psychologist who works specifically with kids and teens. And 5 other amazing kid guests who have unique stories each to share. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. If we have enough time, I'll get to them. But I have a bunch of great questions to ask each person, catered to their individual stories and talents. So we're gonna start talking to them in a few minutes. Hey everyone. I'm just watching everyone come in. This is great. All right. Those of you who are just joining, I just let everyone know that we're going to be speaking to 6 amazing guests today. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. All right, so our first guest is Dr. Carlton Duff. He is a psychologist with the Canadian Mental Health Association who has tons of experience working with kids and teens specifically. You might recognize him from our recent CBC Kids News videos where he's talked about how kids can deal with stress, sadness, and fear. He's going to join me to talk about coping with stress related to the back to school season. All right, so Dr. Duff, let's find him here. Hi,
Hi,
how are you? So
I'm
nice to
fine.
meet you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I'm Saara, and I just want to thank you for hopping on this live today and being a incredible guest with so much to share. So my first question for you is, do you think kids' anxiety and stress levels are going to be even higher this back to school season?
Yeah, since parents and teachers are especially stressed this year, I think that kids are probably going to feel it too. So,
Mm-hmm.
like for some kids who already have trouble with anxiety and stress, and they had that even before COVID happened, the last 6 months I think have been especially hard on them. But everybody's different, and some kids are going to be going back to the start of the school without much stress at all.
Mm-hmm. What are some common fears that you think a lot of people share this school year in the day and age of COVID-19?
Well, I mean, it's kind of normal for kids to have butterflies when you're starting school year, but new teachers and new friends and new subjects, all that kind of stuff, it's pretty common to be worried about all the unknowns and not being sure of how things will totally go. But I think for some kids, it's also common to be worried about making friends or being around lots of people when they prefer to be in small groups, or even just being away from their parents is hard. I
Mm-hmm.
think the good news is, though, that most kids are going to find that those worries go away on their own, even after a couple of weeks of being at school.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, with myself, even as a kid, like I've noticed that even just like going out in public sometimes now you kind of get a bit of anxiety just walking past like big groups. And I can imagine for kids going back to school in person, that can definitely be a real and intense feeling. So, do you have any advice on how kids can deal with back to school stress and anxiety in a healthy way?
Yeah, I think if you're being stressed or anxious in general, then probably the biggest thing is to find an adult or an older person who you really trust already and that you can talk to. And the trick is to actually, when you've identified and you figured out who this person should be, is to say to them when you do want to talk to them about how you've been feeling, is to say, "I just want you to listen to me. I don't want you to give me advice," and then tell them how you're feeling. because even grown-ups need those tips. You also want to make sure that you're doing at least one thing a day that's fun, and it's best if it's active. So if you can be doing something outside, like skateboarding or riding your bike, it's really, really helpful to help stave off all the stress. You also want to spend some time thinking about things that you can do to keep yourself brave. And you might even think of some stuff you can tell yourself and even jot it down in your phone. And then when you're in those moments of stress, you can read them to remind yourself, like, I've done this before and I can do it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Have you been able to speak with any people who are specifically like part of the education community about like how anxiety is affecting kids in the day and age of COVID-19?
Yeah, I work lots with teachers and other people at schools. It's a bit of a tricky time right now, especially here in BC, because only just this week, and actually even for my own kids, today was the first day at school. So even teachers are working really hard to kind of figure out how they deal with the situation. But I think a lot of what's happening is that because things are so new and so different, nobody really even knows how to deal with it. And that's kind of tough for kids too.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just going to take a look at the audience. If anyone has any questions for Dr. Duff, um, please leave them in the comments. I'm just going to take a look and see if there's been any questions. Dr. Duff, is there anything important that you think that kids going back to school should just know right off the bat?
Probably that I think especially when it comes to COVID is to try and focus on being brave. So if something
Mm-hmm.
kind of scares you, but you know that it's not actually dangerous, it's a really good sign that it's something you want to challenge yourself to do. So
Mm-hmm.
that really old saying that you should face your fears is almost always true. So if you are feeling a little bit nervous about going back to school, think of the ways that you might be able to actually make yourself feel a little bit nervous and try those things, because usually it turns out a lot better than you think it will.
Cool. Um, Hessen is asking, how do I manage anxiety at home with a stressful family? I feel like this could be a really applicable question to kids who are doing virtual learning, who might be learning how to balance, getting their schoolwork done in an environment that may be chaotic if there's other kids doing online school and their parents are going back to work online. How would you suggest kids deal with that?
Yeah, it's actually what I've been hearing from kids a lot, that kids are actually doing, by and large, a pretty good job of handling the stress from COVID. It's their parents that are the problem because they're so stressed.
Wow.
Probably, I mean, it's not a new thing to hear, but as much as you can have a routine every day, it's huge important. I know how fun it is and how you really like to just see how you feel and how up late you want to stay and you get up when you feel like it. But the more that you can go to bed around the same time, get up around the same time of day, and make sure you include at least one active thing that you do a day, it's actually going to really help inoculate you against the stress that your family's experiencing.
Yeah, honestly, that is a great tip. My mom actually shared that with me. She's been sharing that with me forever, and it's only recently that I actually took that advice and kind of
And
implemented it.
how's it
And
worked?
it's been working pretty great, to be
I'm glad
honest.
to hear it.
People are always like, "You should have listened to your mom when you were younger," and I now agree with that statement. Um, Kat is asking, do you have any coping tools you can use throughout the day if you feel anxiety coming on?
That's a good question. And we've often learned about like doing stuff to cope in the moment with anxiety, and those are good things to do when you have to just get through something. But doing things to cope with anxiety they're sort of band-aids. They're not things that are going to help you in the long run. But one thing that works really well is usually one of two things. The first thing is either doing something where you do long breathing. You've probably heard people say that before, like take a deep
Mhm.
breath. But we really think that they mean take a long breath. So that's where you count slowly to 5 and you take a long breath in and then a long breath out. There's something about doing that that tells your brain it's actually time to relax. The other thing that you can do is you can do something we call progressive muscle relaxation, or making your muscles tense and then relaxing them. So if you notice you're feeling stressed, Take something like your hand to start and squeeze it like you're trying to squeeze the juice out of a lemon, and then slowly relax it so that you can, it's like you're letting the lemon fall out of your hand. Just like with the breathing, there's something about making your muscles relax that actually sends a message up to your brain that says everything's cool, just relax.
Those are some great tips. 8-year-old Marie was asking how to fall asleep at night if you're worrying. Do you think those tips are directly applicable to that?
So if you're having trouble falling asleep and you're really worrying, especially if you start worrying about worrying or worrying that you maybe won't ever fall asleep, that's usually a clue to you that you might be thinking about all the bad things that could happen. So you might want to ask yourself, since my brain is so focused on the bad stuff that could happen, what things am I leaving out? Am I leaving out how good the day went before, or all the good days that I've had, or all the ways that I actually did a great job when I was taking that test? If you try and focus your mind on all the things that you did well, it gets harder and harder for you to worry. That's something kids can do, especially when they're lying in bed. You can make an exercise out of it.
Incredible tips. I think and not only will everyone on the live benefit, but I will benefit from these as well. Before you go, with every guest, I'm going to do a would you rather. I'm going to call it quick fire round of back to school would you rathers. Are you down to play?
I'm ready for it.
All right. So which lunch would you rather pack? A sandwich or leftover pizza?
For sure a sandwich, because you can make a really fancy, delicious sandwich. Leftover pizza is always gross.
Really? I feel like leftover pizza is sometimes kind of good.
Hot pizza.
Okay. Okay. Which class would you rather take? A science class or a history class?
Science for sure. Psychologists are scientists at heart. We get a lot of training in science and I love it. I think it's one of the closest things we have to the truth. So science class.
I figured you would say that. Would you rather have outdoor recess or indoor recess?
Outdoor for sure. I'm an avid cyclist, so I would much rather be outside riding somewhere than being stuck inside like I am right now.
Yeah, and you live in beautiful BC, right? So
We can
outdoors
do
is
that a lot.
everything. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Duff, for all your incredible tips and all your answers to the audience's questions as well as mine. And thank you for playing Would You Rather with me. I hope to talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, my next guest is Charles Nisbet. He's a 12-year-old student living in Montreal, and he's starting Sec 1 this year. For those of you who don't know what Sec 1 is, it's basically the equivalent of what grade 7 would be, just in Montreal. He started school in person last week, so we're going to check in with him and see how he's doing. Charles, hi, how are you?
Hi, good.
Great. So you're going back to school in person. Is
Yes.
anything different this year since everyone is trying to stay safe from COVID-19 and there may be new protocols?
Uh, no. There's nothing. Well, there is stuff that has. Yes, actually. Um, all wearing a mask all the time is hard, and that's pretty much it. And staying far, and walking and washing your hands when you leave the class and getting into the class is kind of annoying because you're always having your hands sticky full of soap. So it's kind of annoying, but otherwise, no, it's been fun.
So otherwise, it seems all the same other than those few little protocols. Did you and your parents discuss whether or not you were going to go back to school in person or stay at home and do online school this year? Or did you just like automatically assume that you were going back to school as soon as it started?
We did not discuss going back to school or staying in, um, but we have to go to school. It's kind of like a thing.
Mhm.
So we didn't discuss that. Um,
Did you
but
do anything special to prepare to go back to school in person?
yes, we got a bunch of masks and hand sanitizer things,
Mhm.
and that was pretty much it.
How are you feeling about being back to school after, doing a whole couple months of quarantine and that sort of stuff? What does it feel like interacting with people again? Are you happy, scared, excited, worried? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling excited, mostly because I get to see all my friends that I haven't seen in a long time, and happy because the same reason. Happy and excited to see all my friends, and that's mostly it.
Yeah, it must be so nice to see all your friends again. You seem super positive about going back to school and super happy to be back there. Are there any messages or words of positivity you want to share with your fellow students that may be watching the live?
Yes, that um, this coronavirus is gonna end. It may not be soon, it may be soon, but it's gonna end at one point. So look forward to that. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, for sure. We have a couple questions from the audience. They're asking, Angelica's asking, is school harder when you have to wear a mask all the time?
Uh, yeah, because you have to speak louder and it hurts the back of your ears sometimes
Mhm.
for wearing it too long. And yeah, sometimes it gets too hot, and if you're wearing glasses, especially, it could fog them up. So it is harder to wear a mask.
All right. One last question for the audience before we move on to Would You Rather. Do you have a favorite mask or do you wear the same mask kind of every day?
My favorite mask is it's one of those washable ones, reusable ones.
Uh-huh.
It's all black, and in the top left corner, there's a little dog. I don't know if anyone watching is knows what who Sheba is, but it's a dog named Sheba, and it has the corner right there in the mask. And yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so before I let you go, we're gonna play Would You Rather. Are you down?
Uh-huh.
All right, awesome. I'm gonna ask you the same Would You Rather question so we see all the different choices that vary from person to person. So, which lunch would you rather pack? A sandwich or leftover pizza?
I would pick a sandwich because, as he said, you can make it whatever way you want. It doesn't have to be like ham and cheese or anything. A sandwich, it could be a burger, it could be anything with bread and things in the middle. So I'd prefer that depends actually if it's the really good pizza. There's a pizza place down near my house called Two Point, and their pizza is the best. So I'd rather that, but if it was just any pizza or a sandwich, I would choose a sandwich.
I think you'd like the best of both worlds, and I respect you for that. Which class would you rather take? Science class or history class?
Science class, because history is just about remembering dates and names and events, but science class could be anything from doing experiments to writing stuff down. So I'd rather science class.
Awesome. And would you rather have outdoor recess or indoor recess?
I'd rather have outdoor recess.
Same. All right. Thank you so much for talking with me today, Charles. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Same.
Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, my next guest is my fellow CBC Kids News contributor, Émile Burbidge, who is actually out in Quebec. He put together a really fun video article last week about schools reopening in Quebec for the CBC Kids News website. So he's going to tell us all about it. Let me go find him. All right. Once again, guys, if you have any questions while I'm talking to a guest, just leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them if we have the time. Émile, are you there? All right. In the meantime, I'm going to talk to my next guest, and then once Émile is able to come in, oh, just kidding, he's here.
Technical difficulties on my end.
That's okay. It's so nice to see you. I wasn't going to leave you in the dust. I was going to come back to you, but I'm so glad that your technical difficulties are all sorted out. It's so nice to see you. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Sarah?
Good, thank you. So tell us about this video article that you just published for CBC Kids News. Uh-oh. I think there might be technical difficulties. Émile, are you there? All right, I think we're running into some technical difficulties. I'm going to call in Kyla next, and hopefully we can come back to Émile once things are a little better. So Kyla is a 12-year-old student living in Toronto, and she's decided to attend online school this year. Hi, Kyla.
Hi.
So online school is another option that some of you watching may have chosen as well. So I'm going to chat to her right now and get a sense about how she's feeling about virtual learning. Kyla, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's so nice to see you. So why did you decide to do school online this year? Did you and your family have a discussion about going back in person versus online?
I decided to go to school online thinking of the positive and negative effects about going. Positive being I get to see my friends and my teachers, but then negative effects being risking my health and my family's health. And me and my mom did have conversations, and she asked me if I would be comfortable wearing a mask for 7 hours. And no matter how much I really want to go back, I just really don't want to be wearing a mask for 7 hours.
Yeah, I agree. Wearing a mask can be difficult sometimes. And when you need to be focused during school, it can definitely be a distraction for some. So I'm glad that you listened to yourself and kind of figured out what was best for you. How are you feeling about attending school virtually? Are you excited, hopeful, nervous?
I'm feeling a mix of excited and meh. Excited. I'm excited because I love school and I can't wait to get back into the class
Yeah.
and meet my new teachers and my classmates virtually. But I'm also feeling meh because almost all of my friends are going in person, so kind of sucks, but I'm excited.
Yeah, that can be hard, when you're choosing one path and all your friends are going somewhere else. Definitely relatable. Did you do anything special to prepare for going back to school online?
Yeah, I actually cleaned up my whole entire desk and my school bag, and I organized it all, which is really fun for me because I love to organize. And I also got a planner, so I wrote down all the dates and times of when I have like things coming up, like dance or anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. A planner is a great way to get organized and kind of control all your thoughts throughout the day and just kind of keep on track with everything you need to do without getting overwhelmed and anxious, just like we were talking to about with Dr. Duff. So do you think virtual schooling, I know a couple people I've talked to actually in the past have said that they might continue virtual learning after the COVID-19 pandemic. Is that something you've considered? Do you think you're going to continue online school after COVID-19 has passed?
I really don't think so because I
Uh-huh.
really miss being in school, but I can't really say now because I haven't done online school yet. I haven't started it yet.
Hmm.
So maybe in the future I'll love it so much that I never want to go back, but I don't really know yet.
Yeah, for sure. Are there any messages or words of positivity, because you seem like such a positive person, to share with anyone who may be watching, your fellow students, classmates?
Yeah, I would say always keep your head held high. And in the beginning, it might feel tough, but in the end, it's all worth it.
Hmm. For sure. I'm going to take, let's say, like two questions from the audience. Um, Angelica, once again, Angelica with the questions. I love this. She
Yes.
says, do you have a routine to keep you on track outside the classroom environment?
Well, I'm trying to get a normal bed schedule. I'm trying.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm trying to wake up on time and then kind of get dressed, brush my teeth, have breakfast, and kind of like schedule it out all together and make sure I'm on, like, kind of continuing the same thing every day,
Hmm.
almost like in-person school. Trying, keyword, trying.
Isabel's asking, as a dancer myself, how do you balance your homework and dance classes?
Well, my dance classes are also online as well as school, so I can do that as well. But I don't really think it would be much of a problem because my dance classes are usually more in the evening instead of
Hmm.
during the daytime when school is. So it's not really a problem with me.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I know I said I'd only take two, but I think this one's really important. How do you keep up a social life? Like you said, all your friends are going back to school in person, and you're one of the few that has chosen to do online school. So how do you balance that and kind of find the time to stay social and have those positive interactions with your friends?
Well, usually every day after school, I call my friends and ask them how their day was, and they catch me up on things, or they send me like random videos of them doing like anything, like just funny stuff. So I'm still in the loop of everything. I'm still friends with everybody. I still talk to them. So
Hmm.
it's not that bad, honestly.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you that you've been able to find that balance, because I know that's been a challenge for a lot of young Canadians. Okay, right before you go, quick fire round of back to school would you rathers.
Okay.
Would you rather pack a sandwich or leftover pizza?
Definitely a sandwich, but I do have to agree with you. Sometimes leftover pizza can be good.
Yeah, everybody's picking a sandwich. I understand it's a good canvas to like do whatever you want with,
And
but
personally, I think
pizza's pretty
pineapple
good.
belongs to pizza.
I agree, girl. Pineapple does belong
Yes,
on pizza. It's
thank you.
good. Not all the
It
time, but it's good every once in a while.
is. Yeah.
All right, which class would you rather take? A science class or history class?
Definitely science because I love to try different experiments and I want to become, that's the word. Sorry, I forgot a word. I want to become a veterinarian when I'm older, so that has a lot to do with science as well. So I like science class.
That's so awesome. Okay, last but not least, would you rather have outdoor recess or indoor recess?
100% outdoor. I love the outdoors. Whenever there's an indoor recess, I'm like, oof.
Well, I guess a lot of your recesses are going to have to be indoors now if you're doing online virtual school, but you can always get outside for a walk or run or,
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, take care. So nice to talk to you.
Nice
See you
talk to
soon.
you. Bye.
Bye. All right. Emile, let's go back and see if you're doing all right now with connection. Let's see. I've just invited him to the live.
I got closer to the router. It should work now.
Hello. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's better. Don't worry. Oh, all right. So, where we left off, tell us about this video article that you just published for CBC Kids News.
So about almost a week ago now, well, just over a week ago, I started school since March, after these many years of quarantine and these many times of quarantine. And I've talked in my little video. I was talking about what are the changes, how is it different, the different procedures that teachers take, that the students take, and what's different than compared to usual school.
Yeah. So, why do you think other kids should take the time out of their day to check out this video article?
Well, I think it's really great to show, first of all, how it works in different schools, to see if in different regions of Canada, to see how the rules are different. And also it's great to see how it's great to see the what's going through other students' heads.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, as a kid in Toronto, it's really cool to see different protocols and the way different schools are behaving in different provinces versus what we're doing here. So yeah, I watched your video and it was awesome to see that perspective. What's one key takeaway from your video article that you want other kids to know?
To really respect the rules. The more you respect them, the easier it'll be for you. They're easy rules to follow, and once you follow them, there's nothing so hard about keeping them in your mind and keeping on track about them. And just never forget your mask, and make sure to stay apart from other students, and everything should go well.
Yeah, you're completely right. The faster we follow the rules, the faster this will all be over. All right, so as you are a fellow contributor, I wanted to create a little, there goes my AirPod, ladies and gentlemen, a back to school contributor quiz time. So, true or false, you should take at least 2 masks to school.
Well, I say two. I say true, because let's say you forget your mask and you just realize, oh, I have to go in the bus. Where's my mask? I can't find it. Well, you have your extra mask always ready for you in your bag that you can just take out, and you can put it on to get onto the bus and head to school.
Yeah, you're exactly right. True or false, it's better to store your mask in a paper bag than a plastic bag.
Ooh. I'd say that it's better in a plastic bag.
False, in a
It's
paper
false.
bag because there's less chance of bacteria buildup.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that either, but that's that's actually true. All right. Well, Emile, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sorting out the connectivity issues. I'm so
It
sorry
was
that
great,
happened.
Saara.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining.
You're welcome. See you next time.
See ya. Bye. All right, next up, I'm going to be joined by 17-year-old Thielen Kiknoswe, who is actually out in Ottawa. Thielen is starting his last year of high school this year, but it might be a bit different than how he imagined his senior year going, since he'll be doing it all online instead of in person. I'm really curious to find out how he's feeling about it and learn about what made him decide on going fully online this year. Thielen, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, so what factors went into you making the decision to do your final year of high school online versus in person? Have you done online school before?
Yeah, so there was actually a couple factors that went into it, but ultimately my decision was to stay home and do it virtually. And that was just because I was thinking more about safety, for myself and for my family as well. We don't have like a super huge family, but I was definitely thinking about safety and making sure that, I'm keeping my loved ones safe as well. So that was a really big thing for me. And also, the last 3 years, I have done school virtually. I've done summer school, so I've had a little bit of experience using online learning. So, I know others haven't had that experience. So, I'm very grateful, to be here. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're really lucky to have some sort of familiarity with the whole structure of how online school goes. Are you feeling excited, worried, scared about your high school career ending virtually?
I think, it's a mix of emotions because it's definitely something that we weren't prepared for.
Mm.
And necessarily, I don't think I was imagining my final year to be done virtually, but, for the safety of myself and for everyone around me in my community, I think it's best that, we're keeping our distance at the same time. So I'm just trying to do my own part in this. So yeah.
Did you do anything special to prepare for going back to school virtually?
I guess you could say that. I've been trying to work on getting a good sleep schedule in, and trying to get back into a routine, which is, super, super important. And I guess you could say I actually just got this calendar, so
Oh, I see it.
it'll definitely help me, keep things organized for sure.
Yes, a good sleep schedule and like some sort of planning device seems like a common theme throughout everyone to keeping everyone organized. Take notes, viewers. Um, you're pretty involved with the Indigenous community, especially with your background in hoop dancing. I saw some awesome videos of you hoop dancing. Congratulations on everything. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Are you going to be able to continue those activities online or in person during the school year?
So for sure, I have been able to do a lot of stuff online, and actually a lot of kids our age use TikTok, which is a platform that I have been on for the last couple of months, and I've been able to upload videos that have gone viral, which I'm very grateful for. But I think, in the past, it was always go to a place and, do a live performance. So it's definitely a new learning, definitely for sure. Trying to do it virtually, but we have had, Zoom performances in the past. So it's definitely a new learning and a new way of thinking, but it's definitely an important step to take in making sure that we're all, staying safe.
That's awesome. I'm definitely going to go check out your TikTok videos now. I want to see why they went viral. It seems like, you're handling this situation really well, and you're very positive, just like everyone else we've been talking to. People are really keeping their spirits up. So, do you have any messages or words of positivity to share with everyone?
I think, obviously, stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask. But to my fellow students, whether it's your first year going into high school or any school, or it's your last year, go fearlessly. Do all your work in a good way. Keep a positive head, keep a positive mind, and just be you and have a lot of fun.
Perfect. Let's take one question from the audience. Um, okay. There's one question saying, how do you feel about possibly missing senior activities?
So yeah, possibly missing senior activities. I don't know. I don't know
Like
how I
things
feel
like
about that.
prom or parties or get-togethers, but I feel like everyone's kind of been missing out on that sort of stuff regardless. So,
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that because, I'm just more focused on like the education aspect of it. So just trying to make sure that, I'm doing my work and, just trying to encourage others to do theirs as well. But yeah, I don't think I don't think I'm really gonna miss all those senior activities. But for sure I'll be missing a couple of my friends. But just texting them, FaceTiming them is always important.
Yeah, for sure. All right before you go, you already know what's gonna happen. Would you rather? Which
Okay.
class would you rather? Oh, wait, no. Let's start with lunch. Which lunch would you rather pack? A sandwich or leftover pizza?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna say sandwich. I'd rather have a sandwich.
Everyone's saying sandwich.
I know, but hear me out. I would take leftover pizza any day, but it's cold. I love cold pizza, but as long as there's like pineapples on it to make it sweet, it'll be good.
Oh, okay. So you're combining the two. You're combining what Kyla and I said, which is pineapple on pizza. You're taking the pineapple off the pizza and putting it in the sandwich.
Yes.
Creative, and I like it. Which class would you rather take? Science class or history class?
History class for sure. I love science. I absolutely love it. But I think for me, I would rather take history just because I think it's important to know our history and to kind of learn about where we come from and where, how we got to where we are today. So definitely history class.
Yeah, for sure. Would you rather have outdoor recess or indoor recess?
Outdoor for sure. I love outdoor recess. Just because, I love nature. I love being in the environment and I love, walking on the grass, feeling, the trees and being thankful and grateful for the trees that offer us that oxygen and, just being able to, be outside and feel free. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that outlook. That's so awesome. Well, thank you, Thielen, for joining us and for expressing your knowledge and your opinions and your story with us. It was really valuable. So thank you.
Thank you. Chimigwech. Stay safe.
See ya. All right. My next guest is Alexia Sabau. So, since starting off the new school year might be an unfamiliar experience for a lot of people out there, CBC Kids News contributor Alexia Sabau is going to join me now to talk about a video article she did on some amazing homeschooling tips that might help you set yourself up for a great virtual school year. Alexia.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's so nice to see you. So
Nice to see you
tell
too.
us, thanks. Tell us about this video article that you published for CBC Kids News at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, at the beginning of the pandemic, I did this story on homeschooling tips, and I think it's super relevant right now because of all the kids who chose to do at-home learning. And when you're learning at home, it's really a pick your own adventure story, to be honest. And the advice that I got from both of the experts that I spoke to was kind of conflicting. One of them said that like you should put an alarm on every morning, set a schedule, and the other said that you should sleep in, pursue your passions over the curriculum, and just be overall more relaxed. So I would recommend to kids to take a look at both of the options and just see what works best for them.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you, like, what is
Yeah.
the incentive for kids, going to watch this video article? Is there one key takeaway that you think is really important for them to take away from this video?
Yeah, well, I think that they should watch the video because there's a bunch of fun homeschooling tips in there. And also, you can figure out your homeschooling style. So, if you're a planner, like most of the people I've seen who are doing online are planners, or free spirit, or even both. And if you would rather pursue your interests and things like that, or stick to the curriculum more, or if you want to go freestyle, learn what you want when you want to. It's really up in the air with all the time that you have at home.
Yeah. There's a question on here saying, where's the video? The video is on the CBC Kids News website. Go check it out. All right. Is there one thing that you took from the video that you personally use in your everyday life now?
Yeah, I would definitely say be patient just when it comes to figuring out how to do school from home, all of us had to do it at the beginning of the year. It's like I said, you need to have fun with it, and also even now, the beginning of the school year can be stressful for a lot of people. So I think that you're going into a new grade, you're transitioning from that summer mode to that study mode, and it can be stressful. So you just need to be patient, and whatever your homeschooling style is, just use that extra time to focus on topics that you love.
Yeah, for sure. We have another question coming in saying, what's the vibe with COVID in Calgary schools right now? Because you're based in Calgary, right?
Yes, I am. Well, right now, the protocol for all the schools is pretty much the same as everywhere. Wear masks, and people are spraying down desks before and after class, hand sanitize every time you go into a room, wash your hands before lunch, all of this. And right now, I think that Calgary is doing pretty good. And yeah, we're doing pretty good from what I've heard from all my friends who go to different schools around Calgary. It's going well. Everyone has the same protocols and everyone's following them, which is really good to see. So
that's awesome. All right. Last but not least, right before you go, we're going to do back to school contributor quiz time. So, true or false? You may have already heard this with Émile, but I'll take it anyway. True or false? You should take at least 2 masks to school.
True, because you should always have an extra one just in case your first one gets dirty. Or even after lunch, after you take that off, you can put on a fresh one. So it's always good to have a second one.
Exactly. I'm glad we were able to reiterate that for people who are joining now. What is the minimum number of layers a mask should have?
Yes, the minimum layer is 2. And that's because you also want to have like the breathability, so you don't want to have too many layers in your mask, but just know that if you have more layers, you're getting more protection, but you're also sacrificing a little bit of that breathability.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for your answers to all my questions, and for answering some of the audience's questions. Your answers were extremely valuable, and thank you for just being here and sharing your knowledge.
Yeah, I just wanted to say good luck everyone with the school year and have fun.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you so much.
All right. See you, Alexia. Bye. All right, guys, so we heard from 6 amazing guests. Be sure to watch this live after, again, if you want to go back and see different answers to questions that you may have missed. And thank you all just for joining and tuning in. I see someone pasting a bunch of links to CBCKidsNews.ca stories that we've done. So go check those out and just check out the website for any information on COVID-19 that you may be unsure of. And once again, thank you guys for joining. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.